Grace Welcome Center, located at 2006 60th Street, has been able to help the community during the pandemic, and now they are asking for the community's help.
First is everybody reading this could please follow us on Facebook at Grace Welcome Center. That would be helpful because there's going to possibly be some big challenges if the stimulus doesn't go through. If that doesn't get approved, that's going to have a lot of implications for food pantries. We're already there's a food pantry network in Kenosha, and there's a big concern of what's called a food cliff. And so the government's been giving us a lot of extra food. The state's been giving us a lot of extra food.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got extended unemployment. You know, you got all these programs, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, come January 1st, if our government, God willing, our government figures this out.
Yeah.
But if our government continues to struggle to get any legislation passed, I mean, all the food, not all, I mean, there's still going to always be, but we're going to have the same amount of food we had back in last February. All of a sudden, all that extra stuff just goes away like that without, because they've been doing those farm to fresh boxes. They've been doing, the states had grants for milk. There's all this extra food that's been coming in. All of a sudden, that all gets taken. Plus, you have people starting to get evicted and foreclosed and having to pay back loans and all this stuff. So it could get really, if there's not some, all to say, it could get really ugly in January, and we might need a lot of very specific help that we can't quite name yet.
Right.
But if people would be willing to follow us on Facebook so we can say, okay, we've now got, you could have, it's not unfathomable that you could have another 100 people that need food.
Yeah.
And also our food sources are dwindling. Yep.
People, yeah.
So we're going to need to balance that with community generosity. We have a lot of confidence the community is going to step up. But if the community would be willing to follow us, that'd be great. The other big thing we need in January is we do need volunteers on Tuesday afternoon from 3 to 6. And that's because we still have to serve outside because of the pandemic. We need people that will dress warmly.
Yeah.
And we are hoping to have enough volunteers so we can do shifts on the really cold days. We're going to stay open. Blizzards, probably negative 40 we'll have to evaluate, but even negative 10 or negative 20, we're anticipating being open.
Grace Welcome Center serves between 40 and 190 families every Tuesday as we hand out food to deliver to the community. Every Thursday and Friday morning, breakfast is made and served by Joe Falduto, who is also the manager of Grace Welcome Center. Him, along with many other volunteers, get ready to prepare breakfast for the guests that are served at Grace Welcome Center. Usually, the guests would be inside and enjoying their meals with unlimited coffee, but since the pandemic has started, breakfast is served in takeout boxes outside the Grace Welcome Center. The Welcome Center also accepts donations for about anything that hasn't been used before, such as coats, sweaters, jackets, boots, and socks. The pantry itself used to be a choice pantry, and Grace Welcome Center takes pride in that fact. But due to the pandemic, things have changed as guests aren't allowed inside to choose their own groceries, but are provided with all your basic necessities. Reverend Barker and the rest of the volunteers appreciate what the community is able to give back.
Well, there's two rules. It's a place of peace. It's a place of peace, and it's a place of flourish.
Please consider checking out the Uptown Observer for more information about the Grace Welcome Center and what you can do to help your own community.